Okay, so it is the Rockets getting Brandon Ingram, Kyra Lewis, Jackson Hayes, 2021 first and a 2025 first. I think, number one, you would need way more firsts, and the Pelicans have them. Between the Drew and Anthony Davis trades, they got a whole lot of picks. So I think the Rockets should ask for more, and they would ask for more in that. So let's say you bumped it up to one more unprotected first as well as a pick swap. And you pick whatever year you want and all that stuff. I think that would be better than the Nets offer. Mainly just off of Ingram alone. Because, Karis LeVert, injuries. Dinwiddie is not Ingram. Jared Allen is not Ingram. It's not as good as a Philly offer with Ben Simmons, unless you want to bring up the Ingram versus Simmons argument again. I still think Ben Simmons is better than Ingram. But it is kind of interesting. Now, whether the Pelicans would want this, I guess that's something that we're going to have to see. Like, how aggressive do the Pelicans want to be with getting better? The Steven Adams move where they traded a pick and then extended him suggests that they're willing to go for it a little bit more right now, but you're talking about trading, how old is Brandon Ingram? 24 at the most, for 31-year-old James Harden. That's right when you start to push the idea of like, oh, we are getting quite a bit older, even if we are getting a great player. And that's the thing with Harden. He's just old enough to where when you're trading a young star like Brandon Ingram for him, it's like, are we sure about this? Like, James Harden is better than Ingram, but is he better than the next 12 years of Brandon Ingram when you're getting like 5 years or maybe a little bit more out of Harden? It's the type of thing that it makes you think a little bit. At least it does me. Anyway, then we go up to the top. So we have the Hornets receiving Vucevic and Aminu. The Magic get Rozier, Cody Zeller, and a 2021 lottery-protected first-round pick. Getting this for Vucevic would be quite a return. Now, it has been established that Bleacher Report likes Vucevic more than me, definitely. So maybe for them, this is like a fair return. This to me seems like a hell of a return. You're getting like a quality player in Rozier, a good center when he's healthy in Zeller, and you're getting a lottery protected first. And then that would be a bit of a question of like, well, should the Hornets make the playoffs if they get that? And as a result, would the Magic get it? We'd have to see what the protections would be down the road, whatever it would be. As far as the idea of the Hornets getting a guy like Vucevic, and the idea is basically doubling down on what they did with the Hayward acquisition by just being like, screw it, we're going to try to be as good as we possibly can be right now with pretty good players. I would not do that. I would not move a pick, even if it's lottery protected for him, and I just wouldn't want to lock myself into Hayward and Vucevic and that whole thing. They've probably already messed up their chances of pairing LaMelo up with another young star through the draft. Although, given that the lottery is random, maybe the chances are still a little bit there. But they would be ensuring themselves a lower-tier playoff seed with getting Vucevic. And at that point, the idea of LaMelo and Cade Cunningham, that's gone, or any of those other guys who are at the top of the draft next year. And that's even with Devontae Graham still being there and that sort of thing. I do think there's value in getting out of the tanking phase once you've got your guy, but I feel like there's also a way to be a little too aggressive with that. And, I think locking yourself into Vucevic to at most be like the 5th seed in the East, it's probably going a little too far. For the Magic's sake, this would be kind of cool. Rozier. Is Rozier better than Vucevic? No, but him in a pick might be better than Vucevic. Unless I'm just underrating Vucevic a little too hard. What's the next one? The Heat to get LaMarcus Aldridge. So it's KZ, what's this, Okpala? Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. Olynyk, Chris Silva, 2025 top 10 protected first. Aldridge would be cool on Miami. See, here's the thing, though. Like, I say that, like, the talent upgrade would be there, and we're going to talk about this pick in a moment, but the talent upgrade would be there, but I feel like there would be this pressure to get Aldridge the ball, and it would, like, throw Miami off of what they do. Because it's like they want to do, Bam and his handoff plays with the shooters and Jimmy pick and rolls, Dragic pick and rolls. And then it's like, okay, guys, chill. We got to dump it off to LaMarcus for 10 possessions a game. I just feel like that would kill the flow of Miami a little bit. Now, at the same time, Aldridge has been more willing to shoot threes, so it's like, if he's spacing the floor for all that stuff, then that's great. But at the same time, if you just need a floor spacer, you got to give all that up. You know what I mean? So I just feel like Miami maybe has a little too much established for Aldridge to just come in there and just be like, all right, guys, it's time for my post-ups. Now, the way it would work is if Aldridge was content with averaging like 16 points a game, but has he ever shown to be content with that? I don't really think so. The other thing, too, is this pick. 2025? Is Jimmy's contract even going that long? I mean, Bam will be on the team and Hero will be. But, I mean, I don't know what the hell's going to happen in 5 years. Somebody could get hurt and, like, it's top 10 protected, but what if Miami was, like, the 13th pick and now they don't have a pick at all? Like, I don't like it for Miami. For the sake of the Spurs, yeah, I don't know if they're going to get any better than Aldridge for that. I mean, we'll have to see. Maybe somebody's that desperate to get Aldridge and you can get like an unprotected first or something, but I don't think you're going to get like a pick and an exciting young guy. So you'd probably it'd have to be something like this, like established guy, protected pick, take a flyer on a couple young dudes. So for San Antonio, I see it, even if it would be a downgrade in the moment. And also, Aldridge is like kind of old. We have to acknowledge that. What do we got next? The Bucks get, Zach LaVine, DiVincenzo, DJ Wilson, DJ Augustine, EJ Montgomery, and a 2022 second. Okay, look, I don't consider myself the biggest Zach LaVine guy. Granted, he's already proven me wrong once, because I didn't think he could get as good as he is now. This is not enough for Zach LaVine. I mean, even if we do the whole spiel, Zach LaVine is just an empty calorie scorer or whatever, no one thinks this is enough for LaVine, right? Now, all that being said, I do think the Bulls are going to be very interesting this year in terms of trades. If the Bulls are not good, and whatever good means for them, I don't know, they're going to do something. You could convince me LaVine's gone. You could convince me Markkanen is maybe gone if he's also not good again. So I wouldn't be shocked if LaVine was traded. Now, personally, I feel like he's kind of the one guy who's got to stay, but if you fear giving him a max contract, then okay, I can see that. They'll do something. The Bulls are going to do something. They got Otto Porter's expiring. They got Patrick Williams, who could end up being better than Otto or Markkanen pretty early on. I mean, we'll see. You never know. Rookies, kind of a crapshoot, even if most people liked Patrick Williams. But in terms of year one, So we'll see with them. But if LaVine's really available, I think they can get more than this for him. For the sake of the Bucks, I mean, the idea of getting another shot creator dude, yeah, I mean, they wanted Bogdan. They almost had him until whatever happened. So next we have Dallas going for Blake Griffin. So Tim Hardaway, James Johnson, and the 2025 top 8 protected first. Well, you assume Dallas, they're going to have Luka in 2025. They're going to hope to have Porzingis, so perhaps they wouldn't be giving up that pick, but then they would eventually be giving up some pick, whether it's 2026, 27, 28. They would eventually lose out on a pick in the very distant future. And I'm not super against that idea for Dallas, especially now that Giannis has re-signed. But for Blake, I don't know, man. I mean, if it works, then cool. But if it doesn't, and by doesn't, I mean he's not healthy, which I don't think he's going to be healthy, then just a bad move. And even if he is healthy, Porzingis and Blake together, does that work? I mean, it should work offensively. Defensively, I mean, Blake, even at his peak, he wasn't a great defensive player. And, I mean, Porzingis is good. I don't think he's good enough to make up for, a older Blake Griffin on D. And that's just too scary. That's too frightening to hope that Blake and Porzingis can be healthy. I would not do that. Is that a good move for the Pistons? Because we're thinking about, could Blake be traded, that sort of thing. Yeah, I think that's a good move. I mean, Hardaway's a good player. You could either keep him or flip him. Johnson's expiring as well. You could flip him for something. And any sort of a protected first for Blake would be a good return. But if we think about Blake Griffin teams, to be honest, there's not a team that just immediately comes to me. Especially because the one scenario I could think of is if some other team had a contract that was around Blake's money, and they just figure, well, we can swap our guy for Blake, and maybe Blake could just be better for us, and the contract lengths are the same, so it's whatever. But there's just nobody there. I mean, the guys who are making around Blake's money is Paul George, Clay, Conley, Jimmy Butler, Kemba. I mean, maybe Tobias. That would be the one where maybe Philly's just like, hey, you know what? He's actually on less years, and maybe he'll be better. That's the only way I could picture it. And I don't think that's going to happen, by the way. And then I think last, we got the Harden one. So there you go. We came full circle.